Long ago, before sickness learned the names of men, before death walked freely among the living, there stood a peaceful African community called Umu Oma. It was a land where the soil was generous, where laughter slept in every compound, and where children chased the sun without fear. But every land of peace has a shadow, and Umu Oma had one. Beyond the village lay a forbidden forest, a forest the elders warned against. They said it breathed at night and remembered every wrong ever committed. Then, one season, the rats came. Not ordinary rats. They were creatures of horror. Rats with many breasts hanging from their bodies, dragging the earth like cursed fruits. Their eyes glowed with hunger. Their silence was louder than thunder. At night they entered the village. They drank from water pots. They crawled over barns. They touched the food of humans. And with them, they brought laser fever. The sickness did not knock. It invaded. Bodies burned from the inside. Eyes turned red like fire. Bones shook with unbearable pain. Strong men cried like children. Children died before learning their first proverbs. Graves multiplied. Drums of celebration turned into drums of mourning. Mothers buried sons. Fathers collapsed beside shallow graves. Death made Umu Oma its home. The rats grew bolder, stronger. They fed not on grain, but on suffering. In desperation, the elders gathered. They summoned the oldest diviner, a man whose eyes had seen generations rise and fall. He cast the cowries. The shells trembled, and the truth spoke. This plague, he said, is not an accident. These rats were once sacred creatures, abandoned and starved by the greed of your ancestors. Neglect turned them into monsters, and now they have returned for payment. To end laser fever, the village had to face its past. A cleansing fire was prepared at the edge of the forbidden forest. Chants filled the night. The ground shook. When the rats appeared, they screamed. Not like animals, but like humans drowning in regret. The fire rose, the rats burned. The forest fell silent, and with the silence, the fever broke. By morning, breathing returned, eyes cleared. Pain loosened its grip. Umu Oma survived, but it never forgot. Until today, the elders still warn. What you neglect today may return tomorrow with teeth. Greed creates curses, and abandonment gives birth to monsters. Narrator, soft fading. This is why we remember. This is why we listen. This is the story of the rats of many breasts and the curse called laser fever.